Now, here we talk wealth, and listen, the government of the United Kingdom just brought Ripple into a national plan to move its financial markets onto blockchain worth around 33 billion pounds. This is not a bank or a fund. This is a government treasury. All right, so we're going to talk about that. What happened? So His Majesty's Treasury, which is the United Kingdom's version of the Treasury Department, put together something called the Wholesale Digital Markets Task Force. Wholesale just means the big end of finance, not you buying a share in an app. This is banks trading with banks, funds settling with funds, and government debt moving between institutions. The task force exists to move that entire layer of British finance onto blockchain infrastructure. Now, Ripple announced it's supporting that task force and the Treasury's tokenization strategy, working directly with the person the government appointed to lead it, their wholesale digital markets champion. Now, let me take a moment to explain what tokenization means, because every time I use that word, I still get people who say, what does that mean? So very simple. Tokenization just means taking a real asset, a bond, a fund, a piece of government debt, and issuing a digital version of it that carries the same ownership and the same legal rights as the original. The asset does not change. What changes is how fast it can move and how fast it can be proven. So instead of days of paperwork between institutions, ownership transfers in seconds and the record updates instantly. All right. So I love this new technology. Now, the Treasury put a number on what that's worth, around 33 billion pounds in the plan itself. And they project that it could generate roughly 14 billion pounds a year in additional tax revenue by 2035. Now, that second number is the one that tells that they are very serious. Governments do not build a 10-year revenue projection around technology that they're curious about. They built them around technology they intend to run on. So they also gave it a specific first job. And this is the part worth understanding on your end. Ripple and Task Force are working on the repo market with testing and a live trial targeted for the spring of 2027. Now, repo is very simple. It's a repurchase agreement, which is a short-term loan where one institution hands over a bond as collateral, takes the cash, and agrees to buy the bond back shortly after. Usually it's the next day. Now, that is how banks fund themselves overnight. Okay. It is one of the largest and least visible markets in the world, and it runs on trust, paperwork, and timing. When repo seizes up, financial crises follow. So a government choosing repo as the first thing to put on the blockchain is choosing the hardest, most consequential piece. And that's not an easy demo for them. That is the hardest piece that they're choosing. Now, let me explain to you why this is not an isolated event. These are not isolated announcements. You have to put them together, because that is what separates the headline from the pattern. And there's a pattern that is showing. Earlier this year, Aviva investors partnered with Ripple to put traditional fund structures onto the XRP ledger. Aviva investors manages around 253 billion pounds and is the asset management arm of one of the largest insurers in the United Kingdom. That was Ripple's first partnership with a European investment manager, and it was Aviva's first move onto tokenization at all. So inside the same country, in the same year, you have one of the largest asset managers building on the ledger and the National Treasury bringing Ripple into its wholesale markets plan. Those are two separate decisions made by two separate institutions pointing the same direction, and you have to see this for yourself. And the underlying numbers moved with them. Tokenized real-world assets on the XRP ledger has grew from around $150 million to about $4 billion in a single year, spread across more than 500 products. That's not a projection. That is what's already sitting on the ledger. And here is what I need you to understand, that what they did was they brought this company that built the XRP ledger into the room where the rules for British wholesale finance gets written for the next decade. Do you hear what I'm saying?